I'll never forget that night. The pizza place I worked at was about to close and I was getting ready to head home when the phone rang. Since I was the only one working the counter that night, I picked it up. There was complete silence on the other end, so I hung up. About a minute later, the phone rang again. I answered and again there was nothing but silence. I was just about to hang up for the second time when I heard a very weak and cold voice on the other end, like an old woman's voice. She said she wanted a regular pie delivered. I tried to remain polite on the phone, but on the inside I was screaming. All I wanted was to finish my shift and go home. I called out to my boss who was in the back that someone was requesting a late delivery. He told me I had to go. I was initially upset, but then I realized it meant another tip and the elderly usually tip the most generously, so I decided it was worth it. I quit my job after this happened, 4 years ago, when I was still in high school. I worked at a pizza place. One day I was told to do the last delivery of my shift. I got into my car, a trusty 1999 Camry that was perfect for delivering pizzas. I put the address into my phone's GPS and headed out. The address was in the middle of nowhere. After a good 15 minutes of driving through the forest on dirt roads, we finally arrived. It was an old, little cottage-style lake house. I took the pizza to the front door, knocked and waited. I heard footsteps on the other side of the door. I started to feel very uneasy. That's when I noticed a small peephole on the door. "It's the pizza guy," I called out. A low, harsh-sounding voice told me to bring the pizza out back. I didn't like the sound of that, but I didn't want any trouble with my boss. So I walked around the house to the back. I saw a man sitting in a patio chair facing away from me. I began walking over and said, "Excuse me?" The person didn't move an inch. I called out again, louder. Then I heard a man's voice say, "Over here." I turned around to see a man with a crazed smile on his face. "Come over here. I want to show you something," he said. I turned around and ran to my car. I got in my car and drove off as fast as I could. On my way back to the pizzeria, I pulled over and called the police. They told me that there was no sign of anybody living in that house for a long time. And that's when I quit my job. That's 1 minute. That's all I have. 1 minute to tell you about the scariest thing that ever happened to me while working this job. I was doing late night deliveries. I lived in the Poconos. It's very rural. And this one night I was driving down a road that's surrounded by nothing but trees. I had to slam on the brakes. I saw somebody jump out from the bushes onto the road and I hit them. I got out of my car and I'm checking to see if they're okay. It was a guy wearing a black hoodie with the hood up. He's laying motionless by my car tire. I don't know what to do. Why is this guy in the middle of nowhere? Why did he jump in front of my car? Then things get even weirder. I could hear a scream for help coming from the woods to the left of me. I look over and I see a figure hiding behind a tree. I run back to my car and I keep looking back to make sure I am not being followed. When I get back to my car, the guy is gone. I drive off. My heart is racing the entire time. I still have to make this delivery. I pull up to the house and the woman who ordered the pizza comes out. She pays me and then she says, "They let you guys have delivery partners now?" I'm confused and I ask her what she means. She looks behind me and says, "You've got someone with you in your car." I turn around and I see somebody sitting in the back seat of my car. I call the cops. They show up and they find a blood-stained knife on the floor of my car where the man was sitting.